Hey, what's going on everyone? Axel here. In today's video, I want to explore the topic of why do we game? There's a lot more to this than you would think. It's actually a pretty complex psychological issue as to why we game, and I've listed several reasons here that I'm going to go over, 4 different reasons as to why we game. Because when you think about it, it's a very weird thing that we would actually sit down in front of a TV or in front of a computer and act out essentially what is a fantasy in our free time. So let's explore that topic today. Now, the first reason I've listed is escape and distraction. No doubt a lot of gamers play to escape their real lives, myself included. What gaming can do is give you a sense of living in a world that is not your own, because let's be honest, the real world as it exists today is not near as exciting to live in as a video game. In real life, you might sit in an office all day, you might sit in a classroom all day, but in the gaming world, you can be a mighty warrior, you can explore a dark dungeon, you can fly around in space. There's just a lot more exciting things to do in video games, quite frankly, than you'll ever get to do in real life. Now, of course, it's not real, but playing in a video game can give you at least a piece of that, a sense of being on an adventure or living out some kind of dream and some kind of fantasy. And I think that's a very satisfying aspect of video games that draws a lot of people to it. Now, on to distraction. When you're playing a video game, oftentimes you're engaged in all your senses, and you can't actually even think about your real life, because say you're playing a shooter, for example, like you're seeing Doom right now, especially when you think about other shooters like Call of Duty or these really rampant high intensity multiplayer online shooters that are prevalent today. Those type of games require you to be engaged completely and 100%, just because they're that difficult, that fast paced. That kind of distraction is something that can prevent you from using any of your senses to think about and worry about your real life problems or what's going on in your real life, and that's a very satisfying escape for a lot of people, and myself included. I've used video games for that purpose many times, and I still do today. I might come home from work, I might have had a bad day, maybe a very stressful day, but playing video games in and of itself, playing a very high intensity game, can just force you essentially to not think about your problems. Like, it's not even an option to think about your problems. You can't, because all of your senses, your mind, your reflexes, your hearing, everything is totally engaged in accomplishing the goal that's on the screen, which is oftentimes to kill everyone if we're playing a shooter. Let's move on to reason number 2. And this ties sort of into reason number 1. They're sort of similar, and reason number 2 is stress relief. As I just mentioned, a shooter, for example, you might be playing it for escape and for distraction, but it also gives you a great relief of stress to actually just go in and just blow up enemy after enemy. It's a very satisfying thing to do. In real life, you of course can't go up and shoot your boss or shoot maybe someone in real life you don't like, but you can in real life. You can in a fantasy life. I guess, of course, you could, I guess, in real life, but those have quite the consequences, don't they? In a video game, you can actually act out, like, not just violence, but also things that would give you pleasure, like, say, for example, playing a racing game and driving a car at 120, 150 miles an hour. You probably won't get a chance to do that in real life anytime soon, but in a video game, you can actually experience something like that. Now, let's move on to reason 3, which is a challenge. A lot of people play video games to actually get a sense of challenge and gain a sense of accomplishment that they might not have in real life. A good example of this is a game like Skyrim, for example. A lot of people enjoy the challenge of accomplishing tasks, of leveling up your character, and this this type of thing doesn't necessarily have to relate only to games like Skyrim that are more about, I guess, a grind, or maybe something like an MMORPG that's more about a grind and gives you a simple sense of accomplishment that way, which some would argue isn't really a challenge. It's just more time consuming. I consider it a challenge, but many other people might not. But we can think of something like, say, a difficult platformer, like let's say Castlevania 1 for the NES. I'll experience this myself playing it on the original NES with the original cart. Beating, say, the Frankenstein monster for the first time in Castlevania 1, I got a very nice sense of accomplishment because I was able to achieve that. And while, of course, it doesn't give me satisfaction, because of course it's not in the sense that it's a goal that would be achieved in my life. I mean, it gives me a sense of satisfaction because I was able to overcome a challenge. It doesn't mean that it gives me the same sort of satisfaction as, say, like achieving a goal in real life would, but it gives me a sense of accomplishment, which I know I only achieved because I actually put my mind to something and was able to overcome this physical challenge. It is a physical challenge if we're talking about something like a platformer, because your mind is engaged and your reflexes come into play. The next and last subset of a challenge is esports. Esports is something I've been involved in the past couple years with Super Smash Brothers, and it's something that a lot of people are really enjoying these days, and esports are becoming more and more popular. In the past, people have only filled arenas to watch real sports, but now people are filling arenas to watch people play video games competitively. And I can say, just from my time playing Smash Brothers competitively, which I don't do much anymore, but my time playing it really gave me a goal to work towards, and it gave me a sense of satisfaction to actually go and not just fight against real bosses, or maybe just a computerized AI bot in a game, but also to work at overcoming a challenge against a real person and actually meeting the person in person, face to face, and overcoming that challenge was something that really gave me something more than just playing a game for pleasure or for stress relief. It gave me a sense of accomplishment as to kind of keeping in with a sport. Like, it gave me the same kind of satisfaction I used to have in high school when I played basketball, or when I when I ran track. It gave me this competitive satisfaction that maybe I can't have in sports nowadays since I'm older and working, but I can now actually achieve that through video games. The last reason I have listed as to why we game is socialization, and this might be funny to think of because a lot of people actually play video games for quite the opposite reason, to actually get away from other people. But socialization in the past, and I think this is a reason that is kind of declining today, but it is still a prevalent reason, especially when it comes to esports, and this does tie into esports. Esports are becoming a very social, popular thing to kind of gather with a lot of people, make friends. But even though it's declined today in terms of socialization just while playing a game, couch co-op is still a thing. It's still an aspect of gaming that's giving people a lot of pleasure. I know I have a lot of great memories in the past of gaming with my brother, just sitting there kind of working through a game together, or maybe going to Blockbuster back in the day and renting a game and kind of spending the weekend playing that with my friends and my family. It's still a nice aspect of gaming to be able to enjoy that with another person, and to give you something to do with another person to kind of achieve, help you enlighten your social life in that way. There's also other aspects of socialization that are becoming big these days, like Twitch is another one of them. People are now not just socializing through video games in person, but also socializing through the internet. Twitch chat's a big thing. There's a lot of interaction with someone who's playing the game. A lot of Twitch hosts really relish the fact that they have relationships with their audience. So a lot of the times people who watch a Twitch stream, say who regularly watch a regular Twitch streamer, they feel like when they're watching that person play video games on Twitch, that they're hanging out with them. It gives them a sense of someone to hang out with, and that's awesome for a lot of people who may not be able to get that in their real life on a regular basis. Maybe they're an only child, maybe they just have maybe they live alone, or maybe they just don't have that many friends. Video games, and specifically Twitch, can give them kind of it's not the same, but it can give them a sense of kind of having a social relationship with someone through video games. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is me personally. Why do I play games? Which of these reasons applies most to me? And of all these reasons, I would have to say that stress relief applies the most to me. Usually when I'm gaming these days, it's to blow off steam. I might be playing something like Smash Brothers, or maybe I'm playing a shooter, or maybe I'm playing something like Skyrim just to get away and to kind of burn off stress by killing enemies. I know I've really enjoyed games like Dynasty Warriors in the past that have really kind of allowed me to get on the game and just hack and slash and kind of work out stress. But at the same time, I do play for escape and distraction as well, but not near as much as I used to. And I mainly don't play for that reason because I just don't have the time these days to really play for that reason. I'm mainly playing in spurts these days as for stress relief, more so than just escape and distraction. And as I've said, socialization does apply to me somewhat because I am involved in esports. Not as much as I was, but still a little bit. And I have made a lot of really good real-life friends who I still talk to and hang out with on a regular basis that I've kind of met through video games that I would have never met otherwise. So guys, please comment below and let me know why you play video games, which of these reasons apply to you. If there's any major reasons that I have not talked about that I've left out here that you would like to mention, please comment below. And guys, give me feedback on this video type. Do you want to see videos that's me in front of a camera talking, or would you rather see videos like this where I talk over gameplay footage? Let me know. That's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you want to hear more videos like this. If you can, please like and subscribe, and please also share this video on social media if you did enjoy and you think someone else might as well. That's all for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. You all have a good one. Take care.